Hello and welcome to the SEO Plus AI show. My name is Josh, the SEO Grinch Bashinsky. I have with me today my co-host Greg Bassani. Say hi there, Greg.
Hey guys. Hey Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, Greg. How are you today?
Doing great. But dealing with a Grinch, is that what's going on here?
Yes. Yeah, you
Movie.
noticed. You noticed my subtitle. It's the perfect segue in today's topic of the show. We're also joined today by our local guru, Ryan Mazis. Say hi there, Ryan. Ryan, you
You're
are
on mute.
muted. I
Look
wanted
at
to make
that.
sure I could hear my own voice and nothing but. No, just kidding. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh. Excited to talk about wasting money now that the November update's done. There's definitely some ways you can waste money in SEO, so I'm excited to see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So we're glad to have you. Thanks for joining, Ryan. And as Ryan intimated, today's show is all about the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. So this was actually a request from one of our fans, Josh Owens, asked, I'm a solopreneur. I love the show you did on showing how HRFS is useless and wastes a lot of money. I put the word useless in there, but he said wastes a lot of money. And he says, how else do SEOs waste money? What are SEOs wasting money on? And I said, sure, I could do a show on that, no problem. So I whipped up a PowerPoint presentation together in 5 minutes. Don't worry, it's very, very short. So you don't have to be bored of the PowerPoint. It's just there as a guide to do what I'm talking. And we'll talk about today the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. Is that one of the ways that you waste money? You listening? Is that how you waste money? Keep watching and find out. There might be thousands of dollars potentially you could save. And as Ryan also
Mm,
intimated, there are new ways SEOs waste money, definitely in this latest SEO climate post
totally.
the October 7th updates, the heat updates, and the spam updates, the quality updates, and all the different updates that Google's been doing using AI to make sure that pages are high quality. So you
Mm.
better listen, you better watch, you better watch out, you better not cry. I'm telling you why. Because today we're doing the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. So before I get to that, though, let me do a bit of my preamble thing here. If you've never seen the SEO plus AI show before, we are the finest show on the YouTubes for the knowledge of SEO and artificial intelligence. Not for YouTube excellence in broadcasting. We're not going to be winning any awards in excellence in YouTube broadcasting. In fact, there's typically some kind of error or issue in the show. So I'm just going to check really quickly here. I'm just going to share the screen. I'm
Can
going to
everyone
check.
hear us?
Yeah, I'm going to check really quickly to make sure people can hear, what's going on here. Hold on a second. OBS seems to be going well enough there. And let's see here. Can people hear? Can you hear us? What we're talking about? Audio is fine. Furman says, "Great. Now people can hear us.
Nice.
Things are going on. We already have some questions. Okay, so I'll get to those questions in a second. Let me intro the show first. But good. So it looks like today we probably don't have any audio problems. Ali says there's no Daleks today. I sounded like the Daleks last time. Exterminate, exterminate. Okay, so excellent. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay. So as I said, we're not the best show on excellence of YouTube broadcasting, but we are the finest show in SEO and AI. I have over 25 years experience in SEO. Probably combined, we have probably around 50 years experience in SEO for everyone on the show. And in artificial intelligence as well, we have a lot of experience there building out next generation level AI tools. I've been into AI for much longer than anybody else, much longer than ChatGPT. And it is the place to be. SEO plus AI is the place to be. Just a little bit house cleaning about the show. We do 2 different shows. We do a live show and a production show. You're watching the live show right now. If you're watching this Tuesday around 10 a.m. ish, for this particular show, then you're watching the live show. You can ask SEO questions somewhere on the left or right, wherever they put it. I don't quite remember. I think it's over there. You can ask SEO questions over there live, as a bunch of people already have, and I will get to those questions in a second. If you want to make sure you catch the live show, you need to click the bell and smack the monkey and punch the goat and kick the orangutan and the nards and whatever else you need to do down there. There's a bunch of stuff down there you need to do to make sure you catch the live show live. We also, my wonderful video producer, Raluca, will cut this all up, make a produced show, cut out some shorts, and cut out all my problems and cut out all the things that I do that are wrong. And she'll produce a show for us, and we put that out live on Fridays. If you're watching the live show, produced show, by all means, ask any questions you want. Ask them in the descriptions below. Keep watching for the top 7 ways that we are going to show you how SEOs waste their time and money. And some of them are a doozy. Some of them are very giant ways that SEOs waste time and money. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So Ryan, before I prattle on for that time, what's new with you in SEO in the local area? How's it going for you?
Yeah, so it's been interesting. So like as you guys know, this November update kind of like rolled through. And I was happy that like a lot of my sites didn't really like have major fluctuations, or most of them actually got rewards, at least on the map side for sure. Some of them there's like a little bit of we're not sure, we're kind of still assessing what the issue is, but there were ones that were like I call the rising stars. So if you ever have a site that you're working on, rankings are rising, an update happens and they seem to fall back. I just sometimes find that's because it like goes back a couple of weeks and then it starts kind of reprocessing again. But for the most part, it's going pretty smoothly. I'm finding that reviews, I'm not thinking reviews are as important as they used to be, but I'm still kind of humming and hawing. I think it's more about having like real people now actually do the reviews as opposed to just having high numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And also like consistently. So getting like 30 reviews in a month and then not getting another one after that isn't really good. You want to have a consistent drip flow. And I guess to give a tidbit in what might be the first thing that SEOs waste money on is buying reviews.
Whoa, there you go. Buying reviews. Excellent. I was going to ask you later on what were the ones in local specifically, but that's a really good thing. Yeah, Danny Sullivan, who used to be an SEO, kind of, not really, and used to be more of an SEO news reporter and used to kind of host the XMX branch, a few of the XMX branch of White Hat SEO conferences. Say that 5 times fast. Including SMX Advanced, which they held in Seattle, which is just a 2-hour ferry ride away from me, which I've been to a whole bunch of times. He joined Google, and now he's a Google employee, turncoat. And he said, and I quote, a pretty close quote, buckle up, SEOs are going to have a rough next year. When he was asked about all these SEO updates that have been going on, and is Google using AI to detect SEO, the resounding answer is yes, with an echo. Yes.
100%.
And that's going to happen, as Ryan's talking about, in local as well. And so if you don't think they can see what you're doing, you're wrong. They can see everything you're doing. They can see the traffic. They can see where it comes from. They see footprints. They see profiles. In my underground SEO university, we've done a lot of testing into what they can actually see and what they can't see. And they can they can use different things you never imagine that have the same footprint, like Flash plugins and things like that.
Yeah, I would say the level of detail with this AI is that things that you can't even consciously detect as a measuring factor could be a measuring factor now, right? And so the biggest thing I'm telling people with this update is that it's not destroying like SEO. It's not making it impossible to rank, but you have to be able to look like a real company. We used to, so if you've ever been in a multiple like faceted marketing campaign with a company, and there's always like your ad spend and the graphics people, and SEO has sometimes just been this side thing where they make these pages. They don't want them to be shown to users because there's sometimes like 2-word stuff, and it kind of gets like, you kind of become like the runt of this marketing product family. But with these recent changes, the integration of search into these other campaigns is becoming more important. Google had a huge processing issue years coming up to this, pages not indexing, but AI like really takes the load of that burden off. And so everything can be processed, social media, backlinks, other people talking about you in other countries, connecting people to the businesses they own and how active they're in the community. So SEO, I think the long
people
term
talking about you in videos. The multitasking model can listen to this video right now, and when we're talking about Ryan Mazy's amazing rankings, they'll attach all this to that brand I just mentioned, and signals wins you.
And it's a really interesting way to solve the issue of like lead gen sites, what Google might consider spam or not authentic business sites. Because how did you filter that out before? But now with being able to detect who people are, how they're involved online, because like you can pretty much follow someone online, what they're doing, allows them to build a really good map of good content that users want. So long term, real businesses will prevail over the ones that are just like lead gen sites. And I think in that way, it's really good. But if you aren't keeping up with the times and you're still doing old tactics like just buying backlinks, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So that definitely is a great lead in. So let's get to it. Before I get to the top 7 ways, the top 7 ways that SEOs are wasting money, let me just quickly go back here and answer the questions and see if there's anything that are relevant to what we just talked about. Okay, so Furman wants me to demonstrate some stuff in our next generation AI tool. We can do that. Is there any? And Furman has a local question for Ryan. Can I rank a pin drop GMB? Do they get suspended quickly or can they stay live? Maybe we can answer that really quick before I get started.
Oh yeah, pin drop GMB. You mean like a service area, or like you dropped a pin and you tried to like get it verified? I'm not quite sure. I'm not familiar with that term.
Uh,
Um,
I will see what he says here. So,
yeah,
uh,
I
uh,
would. I'll tell you this in short with GMBs quickly. Service area GMBs, or ones that don't have an address attached to it, are very much harder to rank in maps because the level of evidence that you have to put on, let's say, prominence and relevance, because you don't really get the locality to it, is just a lot. If you can't get an address, you're going to have a lot of work kind of ahead of you on that, meaning that you need the extra signals to kind of show Google that's legitimate. That area of GMB was a huge area of spam for Google, and that was one of the things that they tried to weed out over the past like 2 years. So if you can't get a real address, ignore that and try and get a real address to use.
yeah. Well, and that just basically goes back to what you said that you got to be a real business. You have to appear like a
Yeah,
real business.
yeah.
And a lot of stuff that I'm about to jump into as well. Ali asks, can we still use shared office
Ooh,
rentals as a
this
GMB
is
address?
this is a great question. I have a really good case study on this. So Google definitely goes out and looks for areas that are co-working spaces. There are things that make some co-working spaces usable than others. One, if you actually have an office that is yours in there, it's not shared space, you can talk to Google, work through it. If you get a logo on the front of the building, that works. But I find a lot of the big kind of obvious co-working spaces that just rent mailboxes are a high place for getting used. I had a client who needed to get a GMB in a city he wanted to service because he was too far out. And what we did is we created all the citations and all the things that would be evident of a business being in an area. And once those are indexed and live and there was like that recognized the business, then we went and applied for a GMB at a co-working space. This co-working space was not a national brand. It was a mom and pop shop. We went, shook some hands. We got something set up there so that it wouldn't be a high area. Weirdly enough, didn't get verification, auto approved, didn't even want to send a postcard or a video, and it's been good ever since. So again, when I say look real, like if you want to try and get a fake GMB, don't start with the GMB. No one starts with the GMB in real life.
Mhm.
So
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. So thanks, Ali, for asking that. I'll just get rid of this here. Okay, fantastic. Uh, Ali says, okay, so a unit B of a mom and pop.
that could work. Again, what I did is I looked at the location I wanted to use. I see if there was lots of other things going on there. I also looked at the map street view to see like would it be possible that if someone were looking at it, they could say, "Hey, this is just like a fake one." Again, the more or less real it works, the more riskier it is. But yeah,
Awesome. Fantastic. Ali says, I get the rest. So I'm just going to get rid of this here so that chat will pop down. Well, hold on. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, so now without further ado, then let's get started with the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. SEOs waste a lot of money. And you really can't afford to do that anymore. SEO is too lean of a business. It is
Mhm.
too difficult of a business. Now on the show here, we have our slogan: "Make SEO easy again," or "Make SEO easier again." And that's what we're doing, and we're doing that all day long with our AI automation. But I want to tell you about today, no sales pitches. I want to tell you today about the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. So let's jump right into that. And I guarantee you're doing at least one of them. And I guarantee I can save you money on this show. So keep watching. We're going to go through right now the top 7 ways that SEOs waste money. So let me go here to my PowerPoint.
Woo.
And let me go here. I'll share it
Yeah.
so everyone can see what I'm doing here. All right. So the
It's a
top.
great slideshow.
Thanks. This took me 5 minutes to do. This background here is generated on Midjourney, and this was one of the PowerPoint templates. So the top 7 ways SEOs waste money. Wait for number 7. You're going to be pretty guffawed. And I guarantee you that some of you out there are doing at least one of these things. I can save you thousands of dollars right now. So let's jump into it. All right. What is the first way that SEOs waste money? The top ways that SEOs waste money. What do you guys think? What do you think is the first way, the top way, the most general way that SEOs waste their money? What would you guys say?
I wouldn't say it's in how they are. I think the first step is not going to be what they spend it on. It's going to be a lack of good keyword discovery, and then what follows after bad keyword research.
That's a good guess. Greg, what do you think?
Backlinks.
Backlinks, that's another good one as well. You guys are on the right track. I would say the first way that SEOs, top way that SEOs waste their money is the wrong education, or in some cases, no education, right? SEO is at least, let me turn this off for a second. SEO is at least as difficult as being an electrician, at least. It's probably a little bit more difficult than that. It's probably getting to the level of somewhere being closer to like a computer technician or even an electrical engineer. It's somewhere in that level of difficulty. Now, I've been doing SEO for 25 years, and let me tell you, when it started, it was nowhere near that difficult, right?
100%.
Back around 2000, you could do this with a grade 7 level education. As long as you vaguely understood HTML and didn't really even have to understand that much. Because back in 2000, there weren't any content management systems. There was no WordPress, right? There was nothing like that. You had to know HTML to really edit anything. You had to know what a title tag was, what a meta description was, what an H1 was, and what the paragraph tags and the body were. That's about it. That's all you really needed to know. So that's about a grade 7 level education. They used to teach HTML in high school or junior high. And that's all you really needed to know. Just stick the exact match keywords in there, and that's all you needed to do. But SEO has become far, far more complex. Since then, SEO is at least as complex as being a top-level computer repair technician, if not getting closer to an electrical engineer. These guys have to go to school for that, right? You have to go to school for years to do those kinds of things. Now, don't worry. You're like, oh my God, Josh, does that mean I need to go to university to do SEO? No, you don't need to go to a very expensive university. You don't need to spend $80,000 on education, but people trying to do SEO with the wrong education is the top way. Overall, the overarching problem, the root problem of how SEOs are wasting money. They go to the wrong places. They go to the Moz's and the White Hat forums and the Google forums and ask them how to do SEO. They don't know. Fair. And Google can't tell you. They're not allowed to tell you, right? Never forget. Elise says, paying to learn from SEOs. You're exactly correct.
It's true.
Yeah. They're paying to learn from SEOs. Ryan, did you want to say something there?
Yeah, I always liked using the comparison that SEOs are like the doctor of your digital presence. And so I don't want to say like we go to school as long as a doctor, but I've definitely been studying SEO now as long. I could have been a doctor by now. And the reason being is because like doctors is very much like you have the studies and the research similar to what we do. You see common things that happen given a certain circumstances, and you know 1,001 million ways that these things happen. And so when you look at a site and you see something as simple as a line and rankings going, you get an idea of actually what's going on. Yeah. The problem with SEO is that there is no barrier to entry or no like certification for someone to say, hey, we have the same level of knowledge. Like electricians, there's like a certificate. To be a doctor, there's, schooling for it. But anyone could really go and throw a sign up as an SEO. But if you don't have a deep knowledge on how research works, on how language is, with all these other facets, you won't kind of fit in that way. So I would agree. It's a lot harder than it used to be. Not that you can't do it. And the benefit of things being harder means that there's less people to compete against.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's our top way is that the wrong education. People have the wrong education. Sorry, this is annoying the hell. I may have to get rid of this chat thing here. Show chat previews. Don't do this. Turn this off. See, here's the problems I talked about. Here's the non-excellence in YouTube broadcasting that I was mentioning before. Yeah. So it really comes down to wrong education. They're getting education from the wrong place, and they're not getting enough of the good education. They're getting too much of the wrong education of SEO, SEOs who have no idea what they're talking about. They're just guessing, right? SEO enemies like Google, Google's your enemy, right? Every Google employee is not here to help you. They're here to confuse you because they need to destroy SEOs so that they can't do SEO and they spend all that money on Google ads. Everybody who's been in SEO for any longer than 5 years knows this, is that Google is not your friend. I know they're really friendly guys and you really want to be friends with them, but they're not your friends, trust me. Their job is to confuse people to the point where they can't understand what's going on in SEO and they have to buy Google ads. Because every time people spend money on SEO, they're not spending money on Google ads. And that's how Google makes over 90% of their money is Google ads. The ads on Google search results page is still how Google makes all their money. And so you can't listen to Google. You can't listen to the white hats who listen to Google. And you're going to wrong places of people who got outdated information who don't really know what they're talking about. Or like places like Reddit. I'm sorry, I know people love Reddit, but you can't get any good SEO information on Reddit because if you've ever been on Reddit, you know that they're incredibly tight-lipped about exactly what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. And of course, none of them will ever admit, any of the gurus there, none of them will ever admit that their sites have been hit. My sites have never been hit. I've never been hit by anything. Bull fucking shit. They're a bunch of liars, right? My sites have been hit. Ryan's sites have been hit. Greg's sites have been hit. All of our sites have been hit. If you've been doing SEO for 25 years, some of your sites have been hit. If your sites haven't been hit, then you have no idea what you're doing. You've been working for a giant brand like Coca-Cola, who is never going to get hit anyway because it's Coca-Cola, and you really don't know what you're doing. The brand is just ranking because it's a giant brand, okay? So that's the truth. So that's the first way that SEOs waste a lot of money is in wrong education. The next way that they waste a lot of money, so they're either wasting money in not getting the right education, or they're wasting money in getting the wrong education. They're leaving money on the table, and their SEO is failing sooner rather than later. The next way is in the wrong tools. This happens all the time, in that SEO is kind of, as I've said before on the show, SEO as an industry kind of has its head up its butt, right? No, what do I mean by that? I mean that, as Ryan aptly pointed out, there is no official barrier to entry to claim you have SEO knowledge. That goes both for the SEOs. Anyone could go to Midjourney and print up like I did for the backdrop for this PowerPoint, print up a seal that says SEO on it, and then put it on their LinkedIn. Like anyone can do that. That's a very low barrier to entry, right? That it goes for SEOs, but it also goes for SEO tools. All the SEO tools out there can just say, we're the best SEO tool. We give you lots of data. We give you data. Look at this. Link research tools, HRFS, SEMrush, Surfer, Pop, Coral, all of them. They can just be like, oh, we'll give you all the data that we can give you. But they never prove to you that it's good data, the data you need, the data you want. And they charge you an arm and a leg. We showed was it last week or the week before? We showed how HRFS, their keyword difficulty report, said that the keyword pirate costumes, if I recall correctly, our tool showed it was 42% difficult, 42% more difficult than the average SEO niche. We gave it a tough classification. It was 42% more difficult than the rest of SEO. In our keyword tool, Keyword Discovery, which is part of our SEO CoPilot. And we checked the same keyword in HRFS, however. Guess what keyword difficulty they gave it? Greg, you don't guess because you know. Ryan or anyone else?
89 or higher. Probably is ridiculous.
89 or higher? Well, 8 was in the number, but it didn't have a 9 on it. They gave it an 8% difficulty out of 100. They gave the keyword pirate costumes in HRFS 8% difficulty, which is like the easiest of the easiest possible difficulty rankings for HRFS that's possible.
Yeah,
It was very shocking. We were both shocked.
Interesting. I think this is a good point to bring up that, like, we always talk about if you're a small business, a small shape, you can pivot really quick when there's changes. That's one of the benefits of like starting out. You can really test things. But as you get these large companies like Ahrefs or Moz and all that, they've had a system they've had in place for years and software that's been developed for years.
Exactly.
So when an update happens and it changes things, all they can do is promote this thing that they have. But the truth is, the ship's gone a different course and they got a lot of work to do. So whenever you see big tools like this, think about it. Okay, how, like, this tool is great, it's been great for years, but how can it really pivot to these new needs? Like, how does this tool going to aid me forward? And it's all right to be critical like that to large companies because they're always going to tell you it's great. But if you're really looking at these data points and you're not really sure how they affect things, be critical. All right, do I need this data? Maybe there's a new tool that has like, lifetime warranties or, Keyword Spy, that has good research that like goes and bucks into it. So definitely tools, and being critical of those tools, I think is a great second point.
For sure. Someone had a chat here. HRFs should rebrand as link refs. Yeah, you're totally right, Ali. And that's the point, is that's Ryan's point as well, in that HRFs is based, as you could tell, it's in the name, right? HRFs, the anchor text, hypertext reference, or whatever that acronym stands for, which is part of the A tag, which is a link in HTML. They're clearly thinking about SEO in 2001. They're thinking that links are still the biggest factor. They're not. Google has fully admitted that links aren't even one of the top 3 biggest factors anymore. And everything they do is based off of links. That's why they gave pirate costumes an 8% difficulty, because all those pages barely had any links. But our tool, that's based on a much more robust, much more intelligent AI, was able to tell, oh, look at all the other SEO stuff they're doing. This is a very hard niche. It's 42% or 46%, something like that, harder than the rest of the internet. And we have over 1 million data points now to base those stats on, by the way. And so they're very accurate. We're telling you the truth as to how difficult that particular keyword is, or any keyword is. Ahrefs is not. And Ahrefs, here's the other problem. In terms of using SEOs using the wrong tools and wasting all their money, in that A, they're lying to you, B, they have no idea what the ranking factors are because they don't test them. That's not what they do. Our SEO tools, based on my underground SEO university, to which both Greg and Ryan are longtime members, where I do very painstaking research to find out and reverse engineer what the Google SEO algorithms are, the Google ranking algorithms are, and to find out what's actually a ranking factor and what's not. And that's what we base the tool on, because we all want to use it to rank. We don't want to just use it and we just want to just sell the tool. We want to use it to rank, right? That's our business strategy, is that we're a symbiosis. We actually make you a tool that will actually rank you, so you can keep making money, so you can keep paying me to use the tool, and the cycle continues. And the circle of life continues, right? So Ahrefs doesn't give a shit about that. SEMrush doesn't give a shit about that. None of the other tools give a crap about that, really, because they're just trying to make a quick buck, and you can tell that they keep reducing their prices. They keep saying, oh yeah, use NLP this and use that. It has nothing to do with the Google algorithm. So SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars on these wrong tools that have nothing to do with the actual algorithms, that haven't changed in years, and they can't, because as Ryan said, they're too big of a ship to really change it. It costs them too much money. They're resting on their laurels, and they wouldn't know what to change to, even if they thought that they should. And the thing is that SEMrush and Ahrefs cost an arm and a leg. They cost an arm and a leg. They're super expensive, right? So, but even if you have a group buy for them and you're like, oh, Josh, it's not expensive for me. Yeah, well, crap is still crap. $30 for crap that's not going to help you is still $30 wasted. And all the time and money you're wasting using the wrong tools is another huge factor in which SEOs waste a lot of money. So the first one is in wrong education of knowing what SEO is to begin with and how it works today. 2 is using wrong tools that also have the wrong education, either based in it or on it or with it, and that are either wasting thousands of dollars you could have ranked for. Our tool can rank you number 1 in as fast as 12 days. I have the proof. I'll show it to you. I've shown it publicly on the show, right?
Yeah. A great example of backlinks not being the biggest thing right now. I had a page. It was a relatively new, like, conversational topic. Like, hasn't been some talk about for years, regarding PFAS contamination in the United States.
Yes.
And so we basically we had a bunch of pages already created for it. We found out that people were starting to search more of the personal injury side of it, like for end users who were drinking the water. So we made a page that targeted an ailment and PFAS water contamination. And in 3 days, it went from not on the board to spot 1 with a smart snippet. And it wasn't because I ordered a bunch of backlinks on it. It's because the content on the page met the requirements for what Google knew and what people wanted to write about. No, it's still sticking there at this moment. I mean, I'm obviously going to probably point a couple links at it just so that it follows that natural progression of what you might see in the web. But you don't need links to get things going. I would say like building out your infrastructure is way more important.
Yeah. And that's, I call that on the show. You had the sheet, right? It's an acronym for SHEEATT. So it's using Google's EAT acronym in there as well. You had the semantic keywords you needed. You had the helpfulness keywords you needed. You had the experience keywords you needed, the expertise keywords you needed, the authority keywords you needed on page. These are not off-page factors. These are mostly on-page factors. You had the trust keywords you needed on the page. And finally, you had the timeliness keywords on the page. You built it in such a way that a quality rater, if they looked at it, they'd say, yes, this is a magazine level quality page. It should be ranking for this query. This is all kind of in the new area that I'm going to talk about at the end of where Google is going and how SEOs are wasting thousands and thousands of dollars that you already alluded to earlier. I'm going to finish on that point later on. So let's move on quickly here. The next top way, the third top way that SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars is no niche research. So here we're getting to the keyword research that Ryan mentioned earlier, is that they're not doing keyword research. They're not finding the right, easiest keywords they should be ranking for to begin with before they even start their SEO campaigns. Any SEO who's been doing this professionally for over a decade knows you start every single SEO campaign with niche research. That is to say, the easiest low-hanging fruit, the keywords, the easiest keywords to rank for. You do not let your CEO choose what those keywords should be, at least not solely. You do not let your client choose what those keywords should be, at least not solely. Are they SEOs? If they are, why'd they hire you? What are you doing there, right? You need to be the full package and be able to answer that for them and say, look I used a keyword research tool, I checked it out, and this is 46% more difficult. Pirate costumes is 46% more difficult, 46% more expensive, and 46% harder than the rest of the internet. Are you sure you want to go for pirate costumes? How about we go for these other low-hanging fruit with 2 or 3 more extra words tacked onto that are kind of the same thing and build up our site from there and go for the easier stuff. You will spend less money doing it. It will take less time. You'll make more money getting it because you'll impress your customer more and you will rank faster, right? This is the third top way that SEOs are wasting money, is that they're just letting their boss tell them, I want to rank for super hard keyword because that's what everyone has always searched. 1, you don't know that anymore. People may not search it anymore. 2, if that's what people always searched and they've been doing it for 25 years, guess how hard that keyword is to rank for now? It could be
hard. It
could be super hard. In fact, in our system, in SEO CoPilot, we have a classification called not recommended. We put it in black with red letters saying not recommended because it's that hard of a keyword to go for. We actually tell you, I wouldn't bother going for this one, dude. It's super, super hard. At least it wouldn't be the first one I try. I would build a site out of 100 pages first on the easy keywords and the average keywords. Then and maybe then you'd be in reach in a natural progression like Ryan talks about, the way that Google would like to see the site progress to maybe go for that super hard keyword. You're never going to get it out of the gate. It's super, super hard. It's not even recommended in our system.
And another great point to that, if there is a keyword with let's just say that's 50,000 searches a month, there is no way on God's green earth that there is no other subtopics of that you couldn't target. People wouldn't have written about that one thing only. And that's like the saving grace. A great example I have for someone who had a big ranking drop. It was the topic was just like on wolf dog breeds. And so the page was ranking near the top. It was pulling in traffic. The problem was it didn't link out to anything else that was relevant. And typically, under, let's say, wolf dog breeds, you'll have all the wolf dog breeds listed on separate sites. And so her page lost all the traffic. It came down, and it was because it didn't have the architecture to show that, hey, this is an authoritative person. Hey, this is informative information. So if you just make a page to go for a big keyword, you don't think about fortifying that structure with supporting content that's related, it is doomed to fail. No matter how many backlinks you put at it or CTR manipulation, you got to have that infrastructure.
Definitely.
You got to have the sheet.
You got to have the sheet. You got to have the full infrastructure, right? You have to have everything built around it to show Google that you're a real business and you're real professionals, and you are the experts, because they are not ranking non-experts on the main SERP, right? They are only going to rank experts in the main SERP. They're only going to rank magazine level quality on the main SERP these days. They have an AI that has automated the quality rater job, which I'm going to talk about last. That's the last way that SEOs are wasting money. Elise asks, is SimilarWeb.com their estimate of competitors' traffic reliable? The truth, Ellie, is I've never tried it, to tell you the truth. You'll get nothing but the truth from me. I've never actually tried it.
I don't look at competitors' traffic either. It's a little bit irrelevant what the competitor's getting for traffic. You go after keyword because there's traffic to get, but what they're getting for traffic wouldn't change anything that you should do tactic wise.
Yeah, yeah. Other than you can check to see if they have that much traffic, it might be, and they're ranking number one. You can presume they're converting pretty well, and you could use that as
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
you could use that as a difficulty metric, which we do in my robust next level AI that I built of 25 years SEO experience and 6 years AI experience. The way we built our SEO Copilot is that's one of the factors it will rate, kind of like a Google, kind of like Google's AIs. I built my AI kind of like their AI, the way it thinks. And it will check to see, okay, they're ranking, spot one, spot two, spot three. They got all this organic traffic. They must be converting it pretty well. So that's a factor in their
Totally.
pro SEO category, making the niche more difficult in general. It'd be harder to knock them off because they're already satisfying the query intent, which is another phrase that we need to say more often. The query intent. What is the query intent?
100%.
So that's. I've never actually tried them, Ali, SimilarWeb. But I would stand by our keyword difficulty. It's proven. You're in the group, it's proven tremendously reliable in terms of its prediction. Our AI will predict you should end up on page 3 when you're done the on page on this, and we usually nail either page 3, maybe sometimes 2 if you got a better site, and sometimes 4 if you have a worse site. And you can kind of much take that number to the bank. If you don't hit number 3 and you're higher than 3, there's probably something wrong with your site, actually, quite frankly. Okay, the fourth way that SEOs waste a ton of money is in not building proper sites. So this is what I mentioned previously in terms of
That's a good one.
going for the easier keywords and building it out properly, right? Other people call it topical clusters or topical authority. Other people call it silos. Those are slightly different ideas, but they're all generally the same idea. You need to build the biggest site possible. Google has specifically said, John Mueller said, it'd be very weird if you had a site ranking for a big query that wasn't also a big site. Big sites rank for big queries. And so the bigger the site, the bigger the query you can rank for. You need that internal link juice. You need that topical authority. You need that informational architecture. You need to have all of that to prove that you are authoritative and trustworthy and experts and have the expertise. It's mostly on-site and on-page factors you need to have here. I actually like them to on-page factors. And so think of this, like you can't build out a 100-page site and then not rank for 6 months on anything. You need to rank very quickly to impress your CEO if you're in-house, your client if you're doing client SEO, to get affiliate commissions if you're doing affiliate SEO, to just get any success and any feel good about yourself if you're doing SEO for yourself. You need to rank faster. We can rank in a matter of days using our systems, and any SEOs who can't are wasting money. They're wasting time and wasting money. That is the state of the art. You should be able to rank in days if you've chosen the right keywords in the right way with the right tools, doing the right techniques.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
I said right a million times there. And so not building out sites properly is the fourth way. I'm on the fourth, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not building proper sites, not building sites out properly with all this topical authority, looking for the right keywords, building it up in the proper ways, interlinking in the proper ways, is wasting thousands of dollars. It's ruining SEO campaigns. SEO campaigns will live and die on not building a proper site alone. And so you lose all that money, you lose all that revenue, either for your business or for your client or both, or for your boss, you get fired, whatever it is. Things are not good. SEOs are supposed to rank pages. If you're a professional SEO, you should be able to rank a page within a month. Easily.
100%.
If you can't do that, let us help you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. Let us help you. There's stuff that we can do to help you, but I promise it's not going to be a sales show, so I'm not even going to mention any of it. Just look in the description. Email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com. I promised I wouldn't do any sales pitches on this. But the fourth way SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars is not building out a proper site.
100%.
Right.
I would say a good
Go
visual
ahead,
when you think about building on a proper site is like back in middle school when you did mind maps and you had to make a mind map that was kind of somewhat organized. And if you look back from a point of view, you can see that if it was about science and geology, you would have volcano stuff here maybe and tectonic shifts over here, and you'd organize those sorts of thing. That's almost like a first way that Google might look at something, and the subtopics that are on those pages of the whole thing that you're talking about. It's wondering how accurate is this? Does this actually make sense? Does this match the topic that we think it should be built out that way? And so sometimes I definitely think people get a little bit too narrow focused on a per page, where one page isn't going to rank if it's a brand new site and you haven't built out the rest of the infrastructure yet. So,
for sure. And so that's ways that SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars, is not building out the proper site architecture. And there's a lot more to it than that. But email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com, and I'll try to help you out if you have any questions about those things. Also, keep asking your questions on the right-hand side. I will get to the questions at the end. I promised I'd get through these as quick as possible. So let's move to number 5, the 5th way in which SEOs, and this is still important, keep watching. The 5th way in which SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars is the one that Greg mentioned, is buying too expensive links. They waste thousands of dollars buying links that are way too expensive. This is part of the problem because for decades, SEOs have not known what to do and tools have not known what to do because they haven't reverse engineered the algorithms. And so they just thought, oh, we'll just buy links. That's what we'll do, because they didn't know what else to do. And they based tools around buying links because they didn't know what else to do. And so the link market has been strong. And it's partly because of what Ryan said. He said that the tools are this giant, huge ship that don't know how to change the course because they have so much invested in how they do it and what they do. They don't want to spend the money or time, and they're a little, quite frankly, they're a little afraid to do it. They're a little intimidated of what to change and how to change it, and to even start thinking about change because they've been doing it that way for so long. They don't even want to think about it. Like, la, 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 links is still the biggest ranking factor. Don't tell me otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. And the exact same thing happens in the link industry. But this time we have another very insidious component that makes it that they don't want to change any of those factors or change their technique. And the reason is because they're making money off it, right? They can bend people over the barrel, if you forgive the graphic metaphor. They can make so much money selling crap links that really don't do anything at all. Links are upwards of $5,000, $5,000, $1,000, even $10,000 for good links from reputable magazines and blogs that are really kind of what you need to push the needle in many of the tougher niches. That obviously is super expensive, and SEOs are wasting tens of thousands of dollars on their link budgets per month that they don't need to spend because those links don't actually move the needle anymore.
It's true.
And there's other factors that are much better and will rank you way faster than this outdated signal of links. And so this is, I don't know if, you tell me, when's the last time you bought links? Guys, I'm not asking these guys because these guys know.
Yeah.
I'm asking the people watching.
Oh, yeah.
You tell me, when's the last time you bought some links and nothing happened? In fact, your rankings went down, and how much did you spend on those links? I know guys who are spending, their link budget is like in the hundreds of thousands per month. And these are ranking some of the top sites. That is highway robbery. That is highway robbery. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous, right? Google is not going to let this practice go on. They have not let this practice go on. Links are not even one of the top 3 factors anymore. They've changed all that. There are better factors that cost far, exponentially less money.
Yeah, I would say that a good analogy I've used with people is that the links are sometimes maybe like the apostrophes or commas and periods that you might have a full article. You can write an article, serve the job, makes it a little bit better if you do have some links in there, but they're 100% not required. I don't like, if I look at the budget for every $1,000 I might spend on a client, maybe $50 goes towards a link. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's way more on our page architecture and building out that mind map.
Yeah. And quite frankly, when you do know the links, thanks for reminding me. And when you do know the links that are going to move the needle, they're not that expensive. They don't need to be that expensive, right? And if you're like, well, it's ridiculous, Josh. Everyone knows that a good link is like $1,000. No, we don't. No,
they just tell you that.
And no, we don't. That's the link industry making a lot of money on it, and that's why they tell you that. That's the lie, right? And so that's where the SEO industry has gotten to, and that's why I say SEO kind of has its head up its ass, quite frankly, and has for the last 10 years at least, probably a little bit longer since Panda. It's the last 12 years, because that was 2011 it came out, I believe. So quite frankly, people waste tens of thousands of dollars on links. And I guarantee some of you out there are doing that right now. You're wasting way too much money on links. It is a signal, yes, but it's not even one of the top 3 signals. You can do it for way, way cheaper, way, way better. Again, email me, joshbachynski@gmail.com if you have further questions about that. I told you it would be a non-sales show, so I'm not going to sell you. So let's move on to the sixth way. Only two more ways. Keep watching. The seventh one is going to be very interesting moving forward. The sixth way that SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars is ignoring CRO. This is another way that SEOs waste thousands of dollars because they're leaving hundreds of potential sales on the table. Let me tell you a bit of a story. Back in the day, 20 years ago in SEO, if you were ranking number one for a 10,000 traffic, 10,000 impression search per month query, you get maybe 30 or 40% of that. So you'd get 3,000 to 4,000 clicks. And if 1% of those people converted, then you got whatever that is, 300 to 400 clicks. And then they clicked on the sales button. And then whatever the conversion rate from there. And people were perfectly happy with that because they would just rank for more. And they would just do top of funnel, right? They would just rank for more, get number one on other big queries, put the money in, put the traffic in there, put the money there. And they wouldn't have to worry about the efficiency of their conversion line. Not too much. I mean, they always should have, but they really didn't. That was the thought of it 20 years ago. Just dump money to the top of funnel, and you would make money. And I'm saying for SEO, quite frankly, that's not good enough anymore, right? Google, for two reasons. One, SEO is far too lean and far too difficult to not, and you're wasting so much more SEO money if you've run afoul of the number. The five other things I have up on the board here. If you're wasting your money on this stuff, you're wasting way too much money elsewhere to leave any money on the table, to leave any sales on the table. You need to convert as many people as possible, not even from an SEO perspective, just from a doing your due diligence of doing your customers right perspective of converting or upselling or retargeting or bundling or doing some form of conversion on every single person who goes to your page. You spent money, in some cases, thousands of dollars to get them there. They are too expensive. They are too important not to sell them as efficiently as possible, just from the sales perspective and the doing due diligence in your project perspective alone. Alone, right?
100%. CRO is, I have a great case study example for why CRO is important. So again, PFAS campaign, we're getting pages built out. There was kind of two unique audiences. We were getting pages ranking, we were getting lots of fill outs, lots of page views and people reading it, but we weren't getting like lots of leads for the client to act on. And so I went and set up some recordings. I watched a lot of them. And interesting enough, a lot of them were on mobile. And it was odd that Hotjar, if you guys have used it, has this feature where you can say when inactive, skip to the active points. Now that works on a desktop, but on a mobile device, when you click that, when the screen's not moving, that's when your user's reading. That's the content they're interested in.
Yes.
And so I unchecked that. And what we found is that the information that people were looking at was a little bit farther down in the pages. They were going through, they just wanted to know levels of this chemical. And so we adjusted the pages to have that content more upfront, more direct them.
Good.
It was like 2 weeks after the client got a lead that was like his ideal lead because it seemed like he had the information that the user wanted. And so the point is that when you go after these high traffic terms, minor changes like taking the content you've written and shifting a paragraph up because that's what the user wants is a way that if you get a better user, like takes your 10,000 users and makes more of that without having to create more content because you up your conversion, you up your authority. And so if you're not doing CRO, if you don't know the basics to it, definitely look into that and get the idea of putting your mind in that user set.
Yeah, and if you want more tips on that, we definitely have had other shows where we talked about it. You can also email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com. But that's just the sales perspective. There's two edges to this sword for CRO. And the other perspective is that Google uses it as a ranking factor. CRO is definitely a ranking factor that they fully admitted in court documents that have been released. They watch everything that the users are doing. Chrome is like Hotjar in and of itself. They watch the user mouse movements, they watch the clicks, they watch everything they do. And they have a snippet of how well your page converts, and they only rank the converting pages on page one. CRO itself is definitely a ranking factor, and there are definite ways that we've discovered in my undergraduate university of how you need to take advantage of that. And so users are wasting thousands of dollars on ignoring CRO. SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars on how they are ignoring CRO as one of the biggest most important business factors and ranking factors as well. And they're leaving thousands of dollars, or depending on your niche, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars of sales on the table that they could have converted and could have made that money. They'd spent all the money and time to get them there, but then they just dropped the ball. They fumbled when it came to just dotting a few I's and crossing a few T's to get the final sale out the door. And it's not that hard to do. And there are ways to do it, as Ryan alluded to, using Clarity or Hotjar or whatever those other ones are. Can't remember the other one off the top of my head. That watches the mouse movements, it sees what they do, and you can tell what's going on, and you can boost your CRO. I have a number of courses on it in Underground SEO University. If you're interested, email me at josh@gmail.com. I promised it wouldn't be a sales video, so I'm not going to sell any more than that. And finally, drum roll, the one you've been waiting for, or I hope you've been impressed by all of these, and I hope I've saved you money on all of these. The final one, the seventh top way that SEOs are wasting thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, this final way here, the seventh way here, is quite frankly so important, it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's worth your entire SEO career. I will go on record right now saying this seventh way that SEOs are wasting money, your SEO career hangs in the balance here. Moving forward from 2023 and on. We're at the end of 2023. We're in SEOmas it's December of 2023. So this is still going to be relevant for 2024, 25, 26, moving on. Your entire SEO career hangs on the balance on the seventh way that SEOs are wasting, in this case, hundreds of thousands of dollars, because you should be making six figures doing SEO. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. You're wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars in your SEO if you haven't paid attention to this one. And it is SEOing like it's 1999. That's the seventh way. SEOing like it's 1999. What does that mean? Well, it's been what we've been alluding to the entire time. The November update that Ryan mentioned, the October 7th update, the spam update that I mentioned earlier on, Google, the quality rater shift that Google has made, and the quote from Danny Sullivan that SEOs better buckle up. They're about to have a rough year. And he was referring to 2024. Google can tell. They've fully admitted in court documents, and we have reverse engineered and can tell through testing in Underground SEO University. And it's also worked into our SEO CoPilot, otherwise called Keyword Spy right now. Go to trykeywordspy.com. But we're calling it SEO CoPilot. It's going to be called SEO CoPilot very shortly. The whole brand's going to rename to SEO CoPilot because it is a robust SEO CoPilot helping you with not only your on-page, but it's going to be helping you with more. We can tell that Google, and Google has admitted fully, that now they have reached the point, as Ryan mentioned earlier, that the AI acts like a human. Every single page you rank, you have to pretend like a human from Google is standing over your shoulder with their arms like this on their hips, leaning in and saying, I wouldn't do that. I would do this. They have an AI that has been trained by their quality raters and trained by user data. I can prove it as well. Check this out. Let me share the screen. So if I go here to my test keyword foobar, and I click these little three dots here, you see this little remove result link here option? Google has had this for the last few months, and they're using it to test their artificial intelligence to confirm the machine learning of what their quality rater AI is already telling them that this result should not be there. They have automated through artificial intelligence the job of the quality rater. Now, if you don't know what a quality rater is, they've been used in Google for the last 20 years plus in having human review in what pages should be on page one. And they did it in a general sense of what they could find out. But now with artificial intelligence, the level that artificial intelligence has gotten to, it's pretty obvious and well known in the industry, both from what they publicly said and what we've tested in the back end, that Google can now automate all the processes of the quality rater. And they have an AI quality rater now that is only going to allow magazine level quality content on page one. You need to have the top authority, the top expertise. You need to be a real business. You need to have magazine level content with all the tips and tricks and helpfulness, the quality of writing, and the lack of SEO optimization, the lack of spam, and the lack of obvious made for SEO, or I call it OM4 SEO or OMG SEO, OM4 SEO, obviously made for SEO content, and also called spam content, they can kick it right out of the index, right? They can tell that in real time with an artificial intelligence. They don't need to use the quality raters anymore. And so you are risking your SEO career, quite frankly. You're risking your SEO agency. You're risking your SEO business by doing SEO like it's 1999, right? It's not anymore. We cannot. I know for years we've been getting away with it. I've been getting away with it. Ryan, Greg, all of us have been getting away with it. Ryan mentioned specifically how the SEO department.
It's always been dwarfed. Yeah.
Right. It's this. He called it a runt, or this pariah, if you will, this pariah in the industry. Where we don't want to see your SEO on our main pages. Just make these other little supporting pages that are just obviously made for SEO. They're OMG SEO pages. They have the keywords stuffed everywhere. They're repetitive. It's like, if you want the best red apples from Josh's best red apples, we have the best red apples to do your best red apples. Like, they're doing sentences like this, right? It clearly made for SEO. We can spot them from a mile away. And so you better fucking guarantee that Google can spot them from a mile away in real time with an artificial intelligence. This is what the October and November updates were all about. And this is all about what Danny Sullivan is talking about, how SEOs are going to have a rough next year. So you cannot be doing SEO like it's 1999 anymore. Not only are thousands of dollars at stake, your career is at stake. I'm really trying to warn you guys. I'm really trying to help you out here. You cannot be doing SEO like it's 1999. You just can't. Google can detect it, and they will detect it. Elise says, most industry talking heads have answers to Google's spam, have no answers. Most industry talking heads have no answers to Google's spam bouncers. Exactly. And this is something that, sadly, as I said, the SEO industry kind of has its head up its butt. Who else has provided a list like this? Wrong education, wrong tools, no niche research, not building proper sites, buying too expensive links, ignoring CRO, and SEOing like it's 1999. But I mean that in a specific way, like you can't do OMG SEO anymore. You cannot do, a lot of white hats have been saying you have to make a quality page. Well, what does that mean exactly, right? We've been getting away with making obviously made for SEO pages for years. Now Google has dropped the hammer on that. That's what the October and November updates were all about, among a couple other minor things, both in global search and in local search, in both of the major search properties, in informational search and in map pack search rankings and local search as well.
100%.
So guys, you cannot do SEO like it's 1999. You cannot be making the OMG SEO pages anymore. They cannot be obviously made for SEO. Google's going to see that in a second. Ryan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, like one of the things, like if I look at how I did SEO back in like 2022, 2023, it's very much like we're writing this page. Here's all the SEO standards. But as we're prepping for 2024 with clients, we're asking them, like, you know, if we were to sell, let's say, locksmithing Vancouver, what makes you the better locksmithing? We're really integrating SEO like tactics into it. So someone just not like, choose us because we're locksmiths. It's like, hey, you know, we deal with this area. We get to people within 30 minutes. We're actually really trying to bring the brand into the SEO tactics, or vice versa. So it's a bit more whatever the word when you blend things together. There's a cool word for that. It's not coming to mind right now. Yeah, holistic. More of like a
holistic approach. Yes. Yeah, duh. I mean, hey, they've been doing locksmithing for 30 years and they're super experts in it. And they have all these tips and tricks. Duh. Maybe we should put this on the page somewhere. You know, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we should not only just put it on the page, maybe we should be leading with that. Like maybe that would make more sales. Maybe that would help with these conversions I've been talking about here. Maybe that would help you not buy too expensive links. Maybe that would be the proper way to build the proper site out, right? Maybe you've been using the wrong tools that don't give you a heat score, that don't tell you exactly how helpful you're being and the experience and expertise you're using. There's also something new that we're putting into SEO CoPilot. It's a spam score. We have now quantified the spam score for OMG SEO, for obviously made for SEO pages. I've quantified it along all the proper places, the URL, the title, the H1, the meta description, and the body content all has its own spam score, which all gets added together for an overall spam score, to which we're going to average out to over, very shortly, which will be over 1 million data points, to what the top rankers have for a spam score, so you can make sure you're under it. No other tool has this, right? People are wasting thousands of dollars using the wrong tool. So that's the top 7 here, guys. Let me go through it again. SEOs are wasting money, thousands of dollars, essentially their career. The most important one is the top one and the bottom one, right? You could waste your entire career on doing SEO with the wrong information, with the wrong education.
Mhm.
You can waste your thousands of dollars doing SEO with the wrong tools. You can waste thousands of dollars with no niche research. You can waste hundreds of thousands of dollars with not building the proper sites. You can waste thousands of dollars by buying too expensive links. You can leave thousands of dollars on the table by ignoring CRO. Ignore CRO at your own peril, both for sales and SEO. And you can waste your entire career. You could lose your career in SEO, which I don't want to see. You could lose your career in SEO by doing SEO like it's 1999 and making the OMG SEO pages or the OM4 SEO pages or the obviously made for SEO pages. Google is not going to allow that anymore.
100%. And the thing about SEOs is that like no one wants to work with an SEO who had a track record of like destroying someone's business. And it's so, and like you might not have meant to, but if you guys have a site that tanks and the client cancels and they leave a bad review somewhere, you could have a sale coming up and someone could just Google a name that could pop up. And it's like it's hard to overcome that because again, everyone's heard of someone who's been burned by an SEO. Who even might have meant really well and tried their hardest, but had the wrong education.
Sure, of course they did. Yeah.
And so it's important that you're protecting your business, but it's protecting your rep because in SEO, with all the SEOs and ones who actually know what they're doing, the reputation is going to be what actually gets you that sale in the end.
Yes.
And having anything that works against that is going to be hard to overcome.
Yes, quite frankly, and that was brilliant, Ron. You're absolutely right. At the end of the day, because there's no official certifications, right? Because there are certifications, but they're all from private universities like my own. There's no like Harvard SEO degree. There's no Princeton. There's no University of Toronto or whatever it is. You can't go to Oxford for SEO. Because that's the case, the only thing you have left is your reputation, right? And so you can really shoot yourself in the foot. And so I don't want to see that. I want you guys to succeed in SEO. I want you to have the best SEO reputation. You need to pay attention to these 7 things I have on the screen right now. Do not do SEO in the wrong education. Do not do it with the wrong tools. Make sure you're doing your niche research to find the easiest keywords to begin with. You have to make sure you're building out the sites properly and building out in the proper way. That will just save you so much money month down the line. Don't buy too expensive links. There's other things you can do, and there's other links that you can buy. Do not ignore CRO, and don't do SEO like it's 1999. Sadly, you can lose your career from doing that. So let me check here really quickly to see what kind of questions we have. I'll share the screen so everybody can see what I'm looking at. We have... Oh, welcome to the SEO Plus. I'll meet that. Okay, so let's see. We have a ton of questions, so let me get to these. Okay, so first off, Furman asks, can you demonstrate how to find niches with Keyword Spy, please? Sure. I can show you how to do that. I've shown that a number of times here. I'm going to do it really, really quickly. It's super simple. You go to Keyword Spy. You go to keyword. You click on Keyword Discovery. You type in the seed keyword or the EMQ you want to rank for here, like Jaguar parts, for example, and then you get all of the keywords that are related to it. We got 3,500 keyword ideas here. Is what we got. She didn't use the keyword difficulty in it. If I click keyword difficulty on this was my employee who put this in here, I think, or maybe it was me. I'm not really sure. And then you can get the keyword difficulty going on here as well. They're checking the difficulty. That'll come down here. I can also check a previous one in which I did. The system could be busy. Who knows? I don't want it to take 5 minutes and wait because there's a bunch of other questions there. Let me show you really quickly. Well, the system seems to be actually fairly busy. Let me go here to other questions while I'm at it. Furman says, you had a way of sorting the keyword report, the Josh 80 or something like that. Can you show that again, please, and explain the benefit? Sure. So again, that was here. Of course, doing a live demo is when the time the system is super busy, right? Always. Never fails. Never fails. A system that's working perfectly fine. When I go in to do a demo, that it's like, so Furman, I'm going to do this on a different show. I've already shown this. The Josh 80 is just a way that we kind of internally talk about the way when you run a keyword discovery report, it'll do the difficulty for the ones with the highest keyword ROI, the ones with the lowest traffic, because those tend to be some good low-hanging fruit there. The ones with the best CPC, because they have the most money there. And the ones that are hottest this year. Those 4 we do times 20, that makes the Josh 80. Those are, they're called the Josh 80 because that means they're the most likely to have the highest, the best, and the easiest keywords that are going to be the easiest to rank for, but are also going to make you the most money. That's all that is. So Furman, I got plenty of other videos on that. I could show that any other time. Furman also asks, is there a page on the Keyword Spy report that shows BERT? Can you explain that page, please? Is it just recommended frequency to use the words, phrases list? Sure. For some reason, this is crashed.
Yeah. I've sometimes found when I'm doing like screen sharing and a bunch of like internet streaming things that it's not super quick, but I think it's because the internet's a bit always bugging
Yeah, I am
me
running
out.
a lot on my computer here. That is true. I'm running OBS and Zoom and all those things. That's hilarious. Okay, let me go on to staging then, and maybe that will work. Okay, so so as I was saying here in keyword discovery, this is probably not going to work because we've been working on this. As you can see, we've been working on this, but this is the keyword difficulty here I was talking about. This one is 21% easier than the entirety of the internet. That's what we're talking about here. And the Josh 80 is just, we take the top year-over-year change, the top Google Ads CPC, the lowest traffic, because there's often some low-hanging fruit there, and the ones with the highest keyword ROI, which is the hottest, the most expensive, and the best traffic. And we do difficulty reports on all those. And I'll show you, these are all average difficulty here, and easier, -7% easier than the rest of the internet. And you can see why they are here for all these different SEO reasons. And then the reports he was talking about on the BERT question, if I click reports here, this is weird. And now staging is we cannot, what is it with doing a demo? Why does it always do this for a demo? Why is this loading so, well, it is staging, so it does load slower, but so if I click on reports, if I go to a keyword spy report here, yeah, this whole thing is broken because we're working on staging. So app doesn't work because we're, for some weird magical reason. Here we are. So if I go to reports, and staging is broken because that's where we build everything out on staging. So here's the reports we have here. It shows you the difficulty of the keyword. We're replacing this out with a bunch of other stuff. Here's the keyword rankings we have. This keyword just gained a spot. These are #1 spots. This keyword just gained 2 spots. This keyword got worth by 3 spots. This keyword went down by 3 spots. You see we have a lot of page 1 rankings going on here. If I click on Jaguar parts for the report, and if I click on BERT, this is just the query intent. This is what the BERT looks for, is the query intent. So for Jaguar parts, people want to find Jaguar parts for your car. So you can look at this report and you can see what the competitors have in terms of their BERT entities, or you could see what our remodeled BERT. BERT is what the name BERT is actually stands for bidirectional encoder representations from transformer. That is an actual Google AI that they've built. It's one of the first transformers they built. They still use it for ranking, as they fully admit it publicly in their how we base our rankings page. And these are just query intent keywords that you need to pay attention to if you want to do it. But quite frankly, when you go to Article Builder and you go to build your article, all those keywords are going to be automatically tallied up and put in here automatically, Furman. So you don't really need to do anything special there. That's what that's all for. Okay. Furman says, local question for Ryan. Oh, you already asked that.
Yeah.
Video Feet says, I just got pitched on Rank Daddy. Can you believe someone wants $9K up front just to get into an SEO group? Wow. Wow.
That sounds like spam. Yeah.
Yeah, well, $9K up front is a little expensive. Maybe I should be charging a lot more for SEO University, quite frankly, if people are charging $9K up front. But that, quite frankly, is pretty ridiculous. Video Feet goes on and says, I was looking at agency analytics for tracking because it integrates Facebook data along with other social accounts. So the reporting shows literally all our marketing efforts together. Well, that could be good information. I don't know. but they say, compared to HRFs, how would you do content gap analysis to find what to blog about? So listen to me very carefully when I say this. You don't do that. That's not something properly in SEO you do. That's not a proper SEO tactic. That's not going to help you rank in any way, shape, or form. That's what I mean. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm being grumpy or angry. I do have the SEO Grinch in my name today, but that's what I'm talking about with the wrong education and the wrong tools. What do you even call it again? You called it content gap analysis and find out what to blog about. Two things you never do. You never do content gap analysis, and you don't ever blog about anything. Google de-ranks blogs. That's a huge mistake that people do in SEO and have been doing for years. You don't want to blog. You want nothing about a blog. Blogs don't rank on page number 1. Information pages might and do a lot, but blogs never do, quite frankly, or very rarely do. And you don't find out the information you want to write about by doing a content gap analysis. Again, that's just the wrong way of doing SEO that everyone just takes for granted because some guy 15 years ago said it. That's complete wrong way of doing SEO. What you do is you go here and you do the proper niche research to find the easy keywords. That's the content gap you want to do. You want to find the easy keywords to rank for, and that's how you build out your sites.
That's a good point. The gap is the keywords you're not ranking for that can bring your client money, not just what you're missing about a topic. I would 100% agree with that. Content. So I find a lot of people when you're running an agency, especially with local, how do you keep writing about stuff when the area you're writing about is so finite? I think actually one of the next questions is how do we find topics for local? It gets to a point with local where at some point I'm not creating a lot of content. So like if I have a client who works in 5 cities, I got 4 services, that's 20 pages we're making out. So that infrastructure gets built out. We're typically targeting the city and service keywords, and there might be some more longer tail ones we go on after that. Once you get to that point and those are all ranking top notch, we almost kind of go into maintenance mode and make sure that they stay ranking and stay in those top spots. Sometimes the client's like, oh, I want to keep making content. And so I don't want to use the word blog content, but you can make informational content that supports things about what you're doing in local. And so to get that good information, you need to have someone who knows what's going on in that industry, and they can tell you, hey, this is dropping in news, this is what's happening. One of the reasons we're so successful in our SEO campaign for all the PFAS stuff is that the client I'm working with is very informed. He tells me when something's coming up. He tells me what's happening in the news. He shares articles as they're becoming live so we can stay timely. If you don't have that grasp of knowledge, whether you're in appliance repairs or plumbing, you need to figure out how to get that information. Because when I think plumbing, I might think, hey, maybe PVC pipes just had a weird thing where they're being recalled, and now you want to write about that. And someone might read about that and then say, hey, these plumber guys know what's going on in plumbing. Sometimes the stuff that gives you the most street cred and local aren't the things with the most search volumes. It's the things that are quality that really help the end user's product.
Yeah, the tips and tricks that your particular client knows or should know. And if they don't, using an AI that has that expertise built in, like our SEO CoPilot has that expertise built in, and we can actually quantify it in a heat score to know how much expertise and experience that you have is definitely very, very important. So to answer the question, if we don't have HRFs, how would you do content gap analysis and blog? The answer is you don't need to do any of that. So that's another reason why you don't need HRFs, quite frankly. And then also you've answered how does Ryan pick topics to write for local service clients. I'll just add on to that. Quite frankly, that is part of the reason that's analogous to link sellers only selling links because that's all they know what to do, and link tools only giving you link metrics because that's all they know what to do. Agencies only selling X number of articles per month because it's what they've done for the last 15, 20 years, and they don't know what else to do. As Ryan says, you need to pivot to other things, right? You're doing your customer a disservice if all you're doing is just selling them articles, especially if the articles start to run out of content, and there's tips and tricks of ways of not to do that, but especially if the articles run out of content, you can even edit previous articles with new information and put a new date on them. Timeliness is a major factor. And there's always off-site things you can be doing. Also, improving your CRO is another major thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
CRO, did you know that CRO also applies to informational pages? Did they actually click the free quote estimate thing? Did they move on in the sales process? even informational pages have a conversion. They need to be at the very least informed. You need to terminate the search. So they need to move on from those processes and either remember your guys, bundle your guys, upsell your guys. They need to buy your service or product or whatever it is. There's always SEO work to do, and it's not always continuing to make content. And it's especially not making OMG SEO content or crap content. That is definitely going to kill your client's business and therefore yours moving forward.
Yeah.
Ricargon asks, Ryan made a very good point on how the SEO experts have this machine that runs, but when the road comes to a detour, they have no way of knowing where they're going. Nice. Yeah, exactly. We agree entirely. Video Feed asks, tell me about this drive stacking everyone is now doing. People pay several hundred to have these built. Drive stacking. This is this is not new at all. People have been doing this for over 15 years. Ryan, you could probably talk to it a little bit better than I could, but
yeah. So stacks have been something that people have definitely talked to a bit. When we talk about building like that whole holistic mind map that goes from your site inside to stuff that's also offsite, stacks are a way that the idea is that stacks can build you that thing quickly. If I sometimes utilize stacks, I don't pay nearly as much as what you're quoting. So I'd be curious to what makes theirs so good, because I know the ones we do their job. But if you're looking at stacks, I would say that everything else on your site better be perfect before looking at doing stuff in drive stacks. And I've never seen them move the needle in such a way that I was like, oh man, you have to be doing this. So why are people doing drive stacks? Not a clue. I doubt there's any evidence to suggest that they do move the needle a lot. And so I would probably suggest move on to other things.
Yeah, I would. For me, when I hear drive stacks, I get.
Yeah, what is that?
I get a chill up my spine. I'm just like, or I feel a wave of revulsion, one or the other. I'm like, Google is going to be so over that, all over that, right? Like, what real business has Google Drive stacks made? No, none. That's an obviously made for SEO tactic that is not in any way new. It's been around for 15 years. And guys, I am about as effective ranking and actually boosting your ranking with proven scientific methods that have single variable evidence to show that it's truly a ranking factor. If you want to call that black hat, you can. And if you're going to call that black hat, I'm as black hat as SEOs come, quite frankly. But that being said, I'm going to take a page from the White Hat book, especially since I have the black hat scientific knowledge that the white hats are now correct, that Google actually has an AI to detect all this crap. As Ryan is saying, it doesn't move the needle that much at all. And if it does at all, it's definitely going to stop soon. I would stop spending money on that. And I would spend money on one of these 7 things here on the screen that the SEOs are wasting their money on or not spending their money properly on is what I would recommend, quite frankly.
Yeah. Some people believe out there that like anything related to Google Apps can be indexed easy because it's Google app. Google only allows you what they would want you to do because it's their tool. And in the early days of when this AI stuff started rolling out, there were people who had some really controlled tests, and they did stacks on every different kind of place you could make a free stack on, like Drive or OneDrive, AWS sites. And like, although we measured on a very, very controlled test, a little bit of movement, in the real world, man, that gets lost in the whitewash. So like better tactics, other things you can do, more that move the needle. That's definitely a bit of a fad.
And if it's still sitting there attached to your client's site, it is a bomb waiting to explode, right? It is just a matter of time. It's just another thing Google can catch you on and flag you on, and it's just a matter of time before Google's going to do that.
Yeah.
I would challenge anyone out there to show me that they move the needle at all.
Yeah.
And even if you could, my point still stands that it's just a bomb waiting out there for someone.
It doesn't look real.
Right? No real business has this. It's just a bomb sitting out there waiting for Google to their AI to find and easily machine learn that, oh, this is OMG SEO. This is obviously made for SEO and nail you on it.
100%. And there's no way that Jim at Outsource Care Aid went and made a drive stack on something that required like 3 different Google user accounts. There's just no way. It's not reasonable. It doesn't make sense for an average business person to do that.
No.
Don't do it.
No, this is exactly what Danny Sullivan meant when he said that SEOs are going to have a very, very rough year
Yeah.
next year. So let's go and see the rest of the questions. Marcin, looks like it's French. Marcin says, I use keyword spy article generator for producing content in Polish. Oh, maybe Polish. It struggles with generating the desired volume of text. Any plans to address that? Yes. Yes. The short answer is yes. The perfect article generator is a work in progress. Within the next few months, I'm going to have it working in such a way that it produces the perfect article every single time with all the numbers. We need to nail down what the numbers are first, though. But it's very easy to add text, quite frankly. It's super easy to add text in the system now. Just go into the right-hand content tab and start adding in helpful content, adding in pros and cons lists and whatnot, and that will definitely help you out. Marcin is also having some trouble finding the place where commercial invoices and subscription payments. Marcin, just email hello@trykeywordspy.com, and Greg can help you out with all those kinds of questions. Marcin says, how do I make sure that Google sees the conversion in my WooCommerce store? As long as that is on your site, Google can definitely see it. The main key is whether or not the user goes back to Google and clicks another result. That is how you're definitely going to get killed for SEO. So don't let that happen. And finally, Video Feet 09 says, so Josh, your tool helps with on-site content optimization. Yes, as a matter of fact, it does. Is there a playbook for off-site tactics along with some on-site structure and interlinking? Some people call them silos. The answer is yes. I promised this wouldn't be a sales show, so I won't sell it too hard, but you need to join my SEO University. And for all of December, we're having SEO Miss. SEO Miss, pew, 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 pew. It's back. It's the Christmas for SEO. It's SEO Miss. And for all this month, for December in 2023, I'm giving 50% off my SEO University of the normal full price. You save hundreds, over $100. You save a lot of money on your monthly fees. If you join SEO University, if you're a new student who joins SEO University for this December in 2023, just email me with SEO Miss in the subject line, and we can get you all that information. I guarantee you it is the top level SEO information out there, period. And you don't have to pay $9,000 to get it, which is ridiculous. Paying $9,000 for courses that have been around for 15 years that are going to teach you about drive stacks. And PBNs, this new thing called PBNs, that's what you're going to find in those kind of courses. That is not what you're going to find in SEO University. I guarantee you, your mind is going to go and it's going to explode when you see the different and new and interesting information and the ranking factors that we found out. Some ranking factors we're boosting on that people don't even know exists, haven't even dreamed of. So definitely email me, SEO Miss in the subject line to get a huge discount for SEO University only for this December. I will cut it off December 31st. January 1st, it's done. So make sure you email me at Josh.
Does it continue being half off as time goes on?
Yes, it's a perpetual 50% off your monthly fees for new students only. Email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been a great show. Thanks, everyone out there, for asking your awesome questions. Greg, you haven't said much. Do you have any final words of pearls of wisdom that we can deliver before we sign off?
No, I have been very quiet, but you guys did a great job today. So,
so you didn't need to jump in.
I don't think you needed me much. So, no, guys, listen to this. This is extremely. I read a lot. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Reddit. I'm on all these places where people talk about SEO. What you guys heard today is legit, really good stuff. We'll try to get it in some sort of like actual written format for you guys. Maybe we'll get it out there. And
sure,
that's all I can say. It's just, listen and try to implement what's been taught here today.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. Again, I want to thank Greg for co-hosting as per usual. I want to thank Ryan for jumping in. Thanks very much, Ryan. We appreciate it.
Guys.
Do you have any other quick final things you want to say?
Yeah, if it's one thing you guys should get from this whole kind of video is be real with your marketing. If it doesn't seem like a tactic that a real person would do or something that would just exist in the nature of marketing, it probably isn't a good tactic, such as stacks on drive things. So be real.
Yeah, definitely, because real is what Google wants to rank. Fake is exactly what they're targeting, and their AI can now detect it with very alarming Terminator level accuracy. As anyone who was hit in the October and November updates can attest, and we've been testing it like crazy. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been the SEO plus AI show. Tune in next week where we will show you more amazing things about SEO and AI and how you can make tons of money. Go back and watch some of our previous videos where we make SEO easier again. Where we could show you, we just put out our video recently where we could show you how we can reduce your SEO costs and your time by 90%, and you can rank in as fast as 12 days. Watch some of my previous videos. We could show you how to do that, or email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com if you have any questions about that or any SEO questions at all. So with that, I'll sign off, and let's see if I can find, how do I turn this thing off? Oh yeah, here we go. All right, thanks guys.